Hey, Max here. I'm about to head out for some errands, and I wanted to do a quick reaction video to The Camper. I haven't watched John Campea a little bit, few days. I want to see what he's up to, and I do want to discuss this one, Marvel versus DC. Is there more of a competition than we think? I know everyone's going to just say MCU, 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 but let's talk about it.
Warning, this video contains rumors, speculation, strong opinions,
Now, overall, before I watch the video, I think the MCU is doing a lot better job, but there are some bright spots, and even though there's been tough decisions, it's not like I pray at the altar of Zaslav, but I do like some of the choices being made, and I understand people are not a fan of Gunn. I understand that, his type of content is not for everyone. But listen, Cavill's back. Henry, Cavill Henry. Yeah. Gunn is now the president of DC Studios, along with Peter, whatever. They're making Joker 2. Matt Reeves has got a first look deal. There's a lot going on that I'm very excited about the future of DC. And I really enjoyed Black Adam. I really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun, a lot of great action, and the JSA is there. Yes, things could be better, but I actually feel like DC, Warner Brothers, is actually starting to be aggressive and putting things together, and I love that. Now, let's get to the camper. Kaylee official. Okay. The camp. This is some. I was gonna maybe make another topic on this. Is the camper doing the right thing with expanding? Is there a bigger audience for movie talk? Me personally, I think there's only so many people interested in movie talk. My channel can grow, but I don't know how much more this type of content can grow. But I applaud him for trying. I just think it's building too big, going to like the Back to the Collider days. Like I like watching John Campea just as much at his room with all these big offices and new pundits and I listen, if it gets more ladies involved in movie talk, absolutely, I'm for that. But he's tried this before too over the years, and he keeps going back to the same formula. It's interesting. Okay, let's see.
What is our first main topic today?
John, our first main topic comes from Amin. I think most of us can agree that in terms of quality, Marvel has been a bit of hit and miss recently. On the other hand, DC has been putting out a few great projects in a row. When comparing the last 4 to 5 films from both, which studio do you think has put out better films?
Well, I think that's a no-brainer. Marvel has been putting out better quality consistently. Although, going back and watching at the Suicide Squad, a Black Adam, a Peacemaker, it's not as Marvel isn't as far ahead as you would think. It only takes a few great projects and they're back on top, or back in the competition. In the competition.
Much as I loved films like Shang-Chi, No Way Home, I think maybe DC has been doing a better job.
Okay. The Batman and Suicide Squad. What are your thoughts? The Batman and Suicide Squad, to a lot of people, are pretty up there. Interesting. Whereas Doctor Strange 2 and Thor Love and Thunder have been not mid, but just above mid. Just above mid. So, has Marvel put on anything on the level of the Batman? Not really. It's a different experience. Or the Joker. When you think about the Joker and Joker 2, I'm starting to Joker 2 has the opportunity to really surpass expectations. And also the Penguin series, that could really change the game. if you have Peacemaker and the Penguin series, and they're both freaking legit, then the MCU, the Disney Plus series have some strong competition, especially with the mixed results of She-Hulk. Okay, this is kind of a more interesting conversation than I was thinking.
recently. What are your thoughts?
All right, thanks a
Yeah.
lot for saying that in. And it's interesting. We are in an interesting period of time right now because we have seen DC lately come out with some big wins. And I think all of us have been a little bit guilty of letting it fly under the radar that they have been putting together a string of some pretty good stuff. We've talked a lot about the
I actually, look at that smolder that Campy is putting off. Look, he's a sexy dude. Look at that. He's got the army jacket on. Ooh, wow. Watch out, Ann. Watch out, Ann. All right, but I kind of agree. If depending on where you go on the internet and the DC fan you are, you may not be a fan of the Batman and the Suicide Squad, but it's well received in a lot of areas. And I do think if you ask a lot of people, Peacemaker is up there above some Disney Plus Marvel shows. And if they get the Penguin right too, you have two really prolific directors, Matt Reeves and James Gunn, having successful movies, even though the Suicide Squad box office was not successful. Great spin-off series. That is a game changer because where do you have the Marvel directors working on a show? You have other shows in the MCU like Moon Knight, but you don't have a director in the MCU making a film and then doing their own spin-off series. So this could be a game changer. It really could, because I like to see directors making their own little mini universes. And now I'm starting to think that DC's plan might be more successful than the MCU show stuff. If they hold to this pattern, the Penguin show has to be a success. The Arkham series, I like this template.
struggles of phase 4 of Marvel, which has still been quite good, but it has struggled to live up to the same overall quality level, I think, of phases 1, 2, or 3. So it's kind of worth bringing up the question, Amin. Okay, well, right now, what have you done for me lately? Who's kind of firing on all cylinders better right now? I mean, obviously, in the long term, who has done it better overall?
Marvel.
It doesn't matter if you're a fan of Marvel or DC. Everybody will acknowledge Marvel's done it better so far. They've had a far more success. They've been a lot more crowd pleasing.
I do feel like DC's been taking more risks, and they might be starting to pay off. They might be starting to pay off with these deals, with talent, with Gunn, with Reeves, with Cavill. Things are starting to come together a little bit. I'm getting very positive vibes about the future, and I can't wait.
Box office, the critic, all that kind of stuff overall. But how's it been lately? Because when you look at things like the Joker, which granted was a couple of years ago, but still the Joker.
I love the Joker.
You look at the Batman that they just did with Matt Reeves. You look at Peacemaker.
Yeah.
Which is like one of the number one shows in the world and all that kind of stuff. And even though it ain't winning any Oscars, Black Adam was a fun time at the movies. On top of that, Suicide Squad, which did terrible at the box office, but I think that's the second best movie the DCU ever put out. When you look at that, they don't have a lot of what I would call glaring losses on their resume over their last couple of films or television projects, if you were. By contrast, if you look at Marvel right now, crushed it and knocked it out of the park with Shang-Chi.
I love Shang-Chi. But yeah, I am agreeing in this reaction video. I'm agreeing with Campia, and after examining it I was immediately going to Marvel, but I think there's some sparks of creativity there that may even surpass the MCU. And I am really, really excited about where the future brings these DC properties. Whoa, has he gotten cross-eyed? Oh no. All right.
WandaVision, with Ms. Marvel, with Spider-Man No Way Home. At the same time, they've had some iffy outings. Let's call them iffy. Black Widow, Hawkeye.
All right.
Uh,
We're not going to watch all of that. Let's get to Robert Meyer Burnett. Skipping. Okay, let's see what he says. In these reaction videos, I want to get more to the point and get you on your way. Enjoy the content. Smash the like button. Give me your comments on Marvel versus DC and support this channel because we're going places here.
One of the things that Marvel has set itself up for is the cinematic universe that all their films take place in. I think that's been their biggest hindrance because, for instance, I enjoyed Eternals.
I quite enjoyed Eternals too. Yeah.
I don't think it was a good MCU movie because it didn't do enough to add to the tapestry. I have too many questions when that movie was over about their wider universe. Now, Marvel did this to themselves. They have an obligation to continue on their cinematic universe. And I thought, for the most part, the Infinity Saga did a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Now, I really like Shang-Chi. Inconsequential, really, when it came to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
We don't know that yet. We don't know. No, the rings in Shang-Chi's ancestry, I don't think it's inconsequential, especially where the Avengers are going. Those rings, along with a lot of the other stuff in the MCU, I disagree with them there.
Except maybe, okay, the 10 rings. What does this mean? Where did they come from?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, that's a little bit of a, but the rest of that movie had really nothing to do with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It introduced a character up until the very end. You know, maybe you saw Wong the Abomination, but for the most part, tapestry didn't matter. And I feel that way about most of the Phase 4 movies. I've missed the cohesion of the MCU, but the movies I've enjoyed, you know, not as much Doctor Strange.
I disagree. I think they're still consequential. I think they have more room to breathe and do their own thing than they have in the past. Now that they know they're successful, I think they were a little bit more reliant on each other in the past. Where, again, room to do your own thing. So I disagree there. Might watch like 30 more seconds of his take, Robert Meyer Burnett, but I disagree wholeheartedly with the Shang-Chi rings. I think that's going to play out. And Shang-Chi is really, he's a powerful superhero from what we've seen in the end of his movie. I can't wait to see how he helps the Avengers. And I love that we get more like action with martial arts instead of special effects. Special effects add to the martial arts, but I'm very intrigued for characters like that in the MCU where we could show their abilities. You know, I'm very hyped for that, especially getting Daredevil back too. Daredevil has a lot of great action, and it requires a lot of great stunt work. I love that.
And
Thor: Love
and Thunder, I didn't like very much at all.
What about Black Widow? What do you think about Black Widow?
I like Black Widow, but it's mid-tier. Again,
Mid.
It was more, I like spy thrillers. I mean, that movie, inconsequential when it comes to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. None of it really mattered.
You can say the same thing about all the DC projects.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, I've never, the
right,
DC universe, a non-starter for me. Really didn't have one. All of my favorite
there was a DC universe. And there is a DC universe. It's just that it's all over the place, and we've been left waiting. We got blue balls waiting for the DCEU to come together. But I think they're going to do something with it now.
DC movies, you could say Man of Steel and Batman.
Yes.
They're supposed to be but they could, Batman and Superman could be the only heroes. And then they had Justice League, they introduced Wonder Woman. I still don't think of the DCEU as a cinematic universe. Aquaman, Okay, Jason Momoa was introduced in Batman v Superman and was in Justice League. Don't care. Aquaman, the first Aquaman movie with the kingdoms of under, that had nothing to do with the rest of the DCEU.
That was you know, that was a mistake. Not a mistake. It still worked, but I don't think it was like dismissive of what's going on in the DCU. It just told its own story. That's will end this quick video reaction. Please support this channel. Like, subscribe, and comment. I want to hear your thoughts. I love reading the comment section, and I'll see you later. Bye.